Welcome, everybody. Good morning. God bless. Let's get into it. Genesis 6. When the man began to multiply on the face of the land, and the daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of man were attractive, and they took as their wives any they chose. Then the Lord said, My spirit shall not abide in man forever, for he is flesh. His days shall be 120 years. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came and the daughters of man, and they bore children to them. These were the mighty men of old, the men of renown. The Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intention of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And the Lord regretted that he had made man on earth, and it has grieved him to his heart. So the Lord said, I will blot out man whom I have had created from the face of the land, man and animals and creeping things and birds of the heavens, for I am sorry that I have made them. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, blameless in his generation. Noah walked with God, and Noah had three sons, Shem, Ham, Japheth. Excuse me. Now the earth was corrupt in God's sight, and the earth was filled with violence. And God saw the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. And God said to Noah, I have determined to make an end of all flesh, for the earth is filled with violence through them. Behold, I will destroy them with the earth. The earth is, make yourself an ark of gopher wood, make rooms in an ark, and cover it inside and out with pitch. This is how you are to make it. The length of the ark is 300 cubits. Its breadth is 50 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. Make a roof for the ark and finish it to a cubit above, and set the door of the ark in its side. Make it with lower, second, and third decks. For behold, I will bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, in which is the breath of life under heaven. Everything that is on the earth shall die, but your wife and your sons' wives with you, and every living thing of all flesh you shall bring, two of every sort of thing to the ark, and keep them alive with you. They shall be male and female of the birds according to their kinds, and the animals according to their kinds, and every creeping thing on the ground according to its kind. Two of every sort shall come in, and you will keep them alive. Also take with you every sort of food that is eaten, and store it up. It shall serve as food for you and as for them. Noah did this, and he did all that God commanded him. So when we look up and we see, when man began to multiply on the land and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw the daughters of man were attractive. So it means like the angels and archangels and the different heavenly hosts and the different heavenly bodies or heavenly um heavenly man. Well, right here, the Nephilim were on the earth in those days, right? So the Nephilim were born from the fallen angels. So so they were born from the women. The Nephilim were born from the fallen angel men and the daughters of the land. So, so the sons of God, see, like, so there's a difference right here. Sons of God Himself saw that the daughters of man, so so our offspring was attractive to the heavenly host of what God was creating above with the angels and the fallen angels. And well, I mean, they weren't fallen until they rebelled, but like they were all angels, I guess. Yeah, heavenly hosts, right? And then when that happened, the Nephilim were created in those days and afterward. So right here, the Nephilim on the So this is how it says it. The Nephilim were on earth in those days when the sons of God came into the daughters of man and bore children. So the Nephilim are the children, and it says right here, word for word, the Nephilim were the mighty men of old, the men of renown. The men of old, the men of renown would be Hercules, Zeus, Apollo, even in the other places around the world, and the Egyptian kings and queens and pharaohs and all the those were the men of renown. Those were like the Nephilim. And so that's why there was all these crazy things going on with all these nations and their deities and their worship and their temples and crazy stuff, right? Not always bloodshed, but just wild, wild stories of these places in history where they actually have temples still, with statues still, right? So it's it's interesting to look at archaeology and then hear what they're saying because the Bible matches up with it. When you look at like ancient archaeology out there, the Greece and Rome and Egypt and all the other sites, all the sites around the world where giants and gods were. Those were the men of renown, the Nephilim. So the gods saw that the Nephilim and the giants was wicked, and it was evil. It was the If you hear about the stories, I mean, when you look at like the way some of these science fiction movies and animes look at it, it's definitely very realistic, and it shows a collection of ideas from where this uh, is permanent. Like this is from history. So they're showing us stuff in animes and movies like that is very similar to a lot of this, right? Attack on Titan or just different Grand Crest tales. I don't even know, just different. Uh, I'm just naming different things that I'm thinking of myself, but there's definitely a lot of references I find. I mean, Legend of Zelda. When you play that, like this is, I always say it. So like video games and animes and movies, science fiction, all this. It has a slight bit of reference and sometimes a strong bit of religious reference, like Zelda. So what's interesting is right here it says Noah walked with God like Enoch, and in the book of Enoch, you can find more about all of this about the Nephilim, and um, it's very interesting. And it talks about a flood, so he'll bring a flood, and boom, it sure did happen. Next up, then the Lord God said to Noah, "Go into the ark, you and all your household, for I have seen that you are righteous before me in this generation. Take with you 7 pairs of all clean animals, the male and his mate, and a pair of animals that are not clean, the male and his mate. The 7 pairs of the birds of the heavens, also male and female, to keep their offspring alive on the face of all earth. For in the 7 days I will send rain on the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and every living thing that I have made I will blot out from the face of the ground." And Noah did all that the Lord had commanded him. Noah was 600 years old when the flood of the waters came upon the earth. And Noah and his sons and his wife's sons with him went into the ark to escape the waters of the flood, of clean animals, of animals that are not clean, and of birds, and of everything that creeps on the ground. Two and two, male and female, went into the ark of Noah, and God commanded Noah. And after 7 days of the waters of the flood came upon the earth, in the sixth, oh shit, and sorry, in the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, on the 17th day of the month, on that day, the fountains of the great deep burst forth, and the windows of the heavens were opened, and rain fell upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. And on the